Hello there, it's Alana Taki, and I'm here to share more calculator instructions with you. This time we're going to go over how to enter data into the statistics editor, which is review, and then also review how to make a scattergram. Then we're going to do a new regression, the quadratic regression, and then cap it off with a review of how to draw that regression with our scattergram to verify our model. Sounds like a lot, but it'll actually go really quickly because it's mostly review. All right, so I have this data here, which is the age range from the U.S. Census. These are the ages that the U.S. Census considers, and then this was the average annual expenditure, how much money people are spending. So you can see that people under 25 are spending an average of $28,000 a year. People 25 to 34 years of age are spending $46.5 thousand, and so on. Now this is technically 34.99999, so like the day before your 35th birthday, you still fall into this group, and then once you hit 35, you fall into the next group. So these are the representative ages I chose for each of those groups. These are called the class midpoints if you ever take a statistics class. It's very exciting stuff. But if the book picks different numbers, then you go with whatever the book chooses. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to enter this data into L1 and this data into L2. That's my plan, at least. All right, so let me go to calculator. And I'm going to press stat. And either 1 or enter, either one will work because it's the top of the list. So I'm going to press 1. I already have all this data in there because I've already made this video 3 times. Don't ask. All right, so I'm going to pretend that this wasn't the right data. I'm going to go up and press clear, enter, because that's how you would clear out old lists. So if you have any old stuff in there you don't want, that's what you do. Go up and press clear, enter. I, of course, don't actually want to get rid of this data, so I'm going to type it back in. And I'm not going to do it with the L2. I trust that you know what you're doing for the second list. But you would just move over to the right and then enter all your data. Beautiful. All right, once you have your data entered, everything's great. And so normally you're like, I don't know what kind of data set this is. Is this linear? Is it exponential? Is it quadratic? If you pay close attention, you can tell this one's quadratic because the table starts out low, goes up to a high value, and then goes back down low again. That's a telltale sign that it's quadratic, or it's something. In our class, that's quadratic. All right, so suppose you weren't paying attention. Suppose, a table is kind of hard to read. A lot of people just don't look at the table. So how could you tell visually that it should be quadratic? Well, you'd make a scattergram, which I made in Excel right here in the notes, but you can make them on your calculator real quickly. You go to y equals, you go, oops, clear. Sorry. You don't need to see all that yet. All right, so pretend you pressed y equals. You would go up, press enter, and move away, and it'll be dark. If it's dark, then the scattergram is on. See that? I know it was on originally, but it's on again now. So plot 1 is nice and dark. And then if I press graph, Lana, my calculator's broken. No, your calculator's not broken. The deal is that it's graphing the -10 to 10, -10 to 10 window. But our data didn't even start until 20, so that doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, if your data set begins at 20, it's no good to look only to 10, right? Your window's all wapper-jawed. So you need to make a better window. Now, there's a fast way to do this. Because you have the scattergram on with the plot 1, you can get away with pressing Zoom 9, which is ZoomStat. It'll make a window automatically fit that stats plot, that statistics plot, that scattergram. It'll only work, by the way, if this plot 1 is on. If it's not on, it will not work, right? So Zoom 9 makes a beautiful window, but only for a scattergram, nothing else. Actually, for other stats plots too, but scattergrams are the only plots we work with in this class. All right, beautiful. So now we've got a scattergram. It is rather obviously a parabola. I mean, you can't get much more parabola with real life data. So now we have to find that parabola. And the best way, of course, would be to use all the data points, right? So I'm going to press stat, calculate, and then you can see it. It's number 5. Right there, quadratic regression. So you're going to have to press down, 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 and then enter to get to it, or you can just press the number 5, either way. Now that takes us to the quadratic regression menu. So you enter whatever list has your x's, which for us is L1, whatever list has your y's, which again is L2. That's pretty common, L1 and L2, but if you wanted to use L3 and L4, so be it. Frequency list, remember we always leave blank. That's a statistics topic. We ignore that. Store the equation. Heck yes, I want to store this equation. So I'm going to press variables, y variables to the right. We're only going to work with function. Parametric and polar are pre-calculus topics. So we stick with number 1, function. And then you can put any number you want in, but most likely you're going to pick y1. Go down. So it's blinking on the calculate and press enter. And there we go. Lovely equation. And of course it's been stored for us because we stored it in y1. There it is in y1. So now to verify that equation, I would press graph. And there it is. Ta-da! To be fair, this didn't really give us the equation. It just gave us the values for the equation. So if I run it again, I don't need to store it again because I already stored it one time. So I can just go down and press calculate. There. So the equation technically would be, hold on. Let me type it up. It'd be f of t, because this was a t value. F of t, oops, not tt, equals negative 0.03 t squared plus 3.15 t minus 20.72, or something like that. If that's 2 decimal places, if you need 3, then you just put in another one, right? So it would be 154 and 721, sorry. There we go. So that would be the equation to go with it. All right, so we're good. We know how to enter data, how to make a scattergram, how to find a quadratic regression model, and how to verify. There's only one way that we know how to verify at this point, which is to graph. I'm going to teach you another one in a later video, but suffice to say at this point, you make a graph of it. All right, I'll see you back here for more videos.